दो, कम से कम पद तो छोड़ के आओ अपना। हम नियत से बैठे, हम रेसलर अपना जो कुश्ती छोड़ के बैठे हैं, क्या वो अपना पद नहीं छोड़ सकते?
But he remains defiant. Top focus on 6 p.m. Prime.
Good evening. You're joining us live here on 6 p.m. Prime on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal, and we're getting you all the latest updates that are coming in on the wrestlers' protest at Jantar Mantar. Third day that they're protesting, and we're counting that over the next 1 hour, there will be some sort of a breakthrough so that our wrestling heroes can get back to work and focus on their training. They've been out on the streets in Delhi's cold for the last 3 days demanding justice, demanding that Brij Bhushan, accused of sexual harassment, accused of mental harassment, steps down from the Wrestling Federation of India. We'll be getting you all the latest updates. The headlines first. WFI chief Brij Bhushan remains defiant amid allegations, says will expose political conspiracy. After video of Pfizer's CEO evading tough questions in Davos summit goes viral, Modi government corners opposition for batting for foreign vaccines in India. Congress hits back.
The vaccines didn't stop transmission. How long did you know that without saying it publicly?
Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
Answer that question. I mean, we now know that the vaccines didn't stop transmission, but why did you keep it secret?
Political storm over BBC film. Congress fires Darpok salvo at the centre. Complaint filed against BBC alleging attempt to provoke. Farooq's big statement in the Bharat Jodo Yatra in Jammu and Kashmir compares Rahul Gandhi to Adi Shankaracharya, saying he united Kanyakumari to Jammu and Kashmir. Rajasthan Congress implosion continues after pilot's Jadugari comment. Gehlot hits out, says bigger COVID is inside the Congress party. Unprecedented tech layoffs globally. Google parent Alphabet to lay off 12,000 workers in 6% slash to the global workforce. In India, Swiggy, Zomato and Dunzo follow suit. And let's get you the latest updates coming in on the wrestlers' dharna. They've now left from Jantar Mantar, that was the protest site, because they're going to be meeting with Sports Minister Anurag Thakur anytime now. The round 2 of dialogue with Anurag Thakur is expected to begin anytime now from Jantar Mantar. They're making their way as we speak to Anurag Thakur's residence. Will we finally see some sort of a breakthrough? Big question mark on that. We're getting you the latest images right now as the protesting wrestlers Vinesh Fogart, Sakshi Malik, Bajrang Punia all have left from Jantar Mantar. So the wrestlers, as you see, they're leaving for that meet with Anurag Thakur. Late last night, there was a similar meeting that happened. It lasted for nearly 4 hours. What was the takeaway from the meet? Well, the government essentially, the information we have is that the government communicated to these wrestlers that they are willing to investigate all of the allegations. But they also highlighted that they cannot directly ask for Brij Bhushan to step down. The government doesn't have the authority because this is a completely separate, independent federation, the WFI. So the government told them that what we can do is we can set up a panel that will look into the charges that have been leveled, particularly the sexual harassment charges. The victims can then speak to the panel members and tell them about the grievances, about their experiences with Brij Bhushan, based on which there will be a formal investigation. So that was the government's outreach, the olive branch, to these protesting wrestlers. Now the wrestlers, these protesters, have said that they will think it through and then get back to the government. So now in this meeting that's expected to begin anytime time now. It's expected that they will communicate what they want, whether they're okay with what the government has said, whether they'll meet the government halfway on their demands. So that will be decided in the next few hours as they make their way right now to Sports Minister Anurag Thakur's residence. So this is the second round of talks that are happening. We're all hoping that right now the stalemate that we're seeing, there's some sort of an end to that, there's a breakthrough. How long will we keep our wrestling heroes out there on the streets of Delhi protesting for their rights? The government has been repeatedly speaking to them, holding dialogues with these wrestlers, hoping that they can reach some sort of confirmation or some sort of middle ground based on which things can move forward. But the government has promised them that there will be a detailed investigation into their allegations. The Sports Authority of India has also stepped in here. At 5 o'clock, it was expected that WFI Chief Brij Bhushan would hold a press conference. That hasn't happened yet, so remains to be seen if he's holding on to see what happens in this particular meeting. But today, this morning, when we spoke to him, he maintained that he is not willing to step down. Amit Bharadwaj is joining us live from outside Anurag Thakur's residence. Amit, any time now, the protesting wrestlers are expected where you are. And then the second round of talks between the government and the wrestlers will begin. What's expected in this huddle? Any inside track that you've been able to pick up on what the government is going to say to these wrestlers?
Right, Akshita. The protesting wrestlers are expected at Anurag Thakur's official residence anytime now. They have left from Jantar Mantar, and before these wrestlers reach Anurag Thakur's residence, we know for a matter of fact that senior officials of the Sports Ministry have been called in as well. DG SAI Sandeep Pradhan has entered Anurag Thakur's residence just 5 minutes back, which means that the brainstorming which happened last night, where Sports Minister Anurag Thakur was present, senior Sports Ministry officials were present along with the protesting wrestlers. There was a detailed conversation about the concerns and grievances which were raised by the protesting wrestlers, and all through the day these officials must have brainstormed as well as to what can be done. What we are picking up from our sources is that on one hand, it is pretty clear that the government of India or the Sports Ministry as of now cannot ask WFI President Brij Bhushan Singh to step down, because it is, again, WFI is an elected body where elections happen, so the entire procedure has to be taken up from a different route. Now, if you look at the developments that have happened in the past 24 hours, last night 4-hour long meeting happened, marathon meeting happened, and today the official complaint with IOA, Indian Olympic Association, was filed by the protesting wrestlers, including Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Fogart and Ravi Dahiya. Now, this is the first official complaint alleging sexual harassment charges against Mr. Brij Bhushan and a couple of other officials of the WFI. And in that particular complaint, mental harassment charges have been labelled as well, and 4 demands have been made. Now, what we are understanding
IOA letter also in a bit, Amit. But focusing on that meeting that's expected to start any time now, we had details earlier about also what the government was willing and their communication to these wrestlers. They said that the government can't really directly intervene because this is an independent body. We're talking about the Wrestling Federation of India. But they did promise them that there would be a detailed investigation, a 3-member panel that would also be set up. So today, in this follow-up meet, in a sense, that we're going to be seeing, are we only expecting a communication from the wrestlers whether they're okay with what the government has to offer or not?
Akshita, yesterday there was a 4-hour long meeting. These wrestlers have very categorically told the government that we will not back down until unless Brij Bhushan Singh is forced out of WFI. Now today, when this meeting begins at Anurag Thakur's residence, it will be made clear to them as to what are the options in front of them, what are the legal procedures that has to be followed. Now you have put in an official complaint, the IOA will act upon it, and till the time the investigation is being carried out, Mr. Brij Bhushan will be asked to step down from the president's post. That is the best possibility which could be offered to them. During this meeting, this will be communicated very clearly to the protesting wrestlers, including Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik and Vinesh Fogart, who are expected to reach here anytime from now. So this particular meeting, Akshita, essentially would be letting the wrestlers know that the government has been really serious about the entire issue and what are the legal options available to them. A committee is being formed. The committee will look into the allegations which has been put forward by the wrestlers. Until then, Mr. Brij Bhushan Singh will be asked to step aside. So these are the options which are available right now. And in this particular meeting, the communication will be made clear. Hopefully, because now, you have official complaint which has been filed by the wrestlers as well. What we are expecting from this meeting is that hopefully these wrestlers might agree to the pointers or the options which are being provided to them. And for now, this tussle might end if provided that Mr. Brij Bhushan agrees to step down or the Indian Olympic Association takes an action, asks the WFI to sideline its president. So that is the best which is expected from this particular meeting.
So let's see what happens in that meeting. In the meanwhile, there's also a big question mark over what Brij Bhushan is going to do next. And I want to bring in Nitin Srivastava on this. He's joining us also from outside the Sports Minister's residence because that meeting is going to begin any time now. We're keeping all of our focus on that. Nitin, is Brij Bhushan also watching out for what is the outcome of this meet? He was supposed to hold a press conference at 5. It looks like that's been postponed indefinitely. Is he waiting to see what happens in this meeting to decide whether he should step down or no? Nitin, can you hear me? Apologies, I don't think Nitin can hear me. We'll go across to Nitin in just a bit. In the meanwhile, as we beam for you those latest images of all of our wrestling heroes making their way to Union Minister Anurag Thakur's residence for the second such meet between them, let's also take a look at all the other updates that have come in through the day in this big story. Lots of updates, lots of developments. We've got a number of reactions also that have come in. So let's round up for you those developments. So this is day 3 of the Dangal for Justice. The Wrestlers Association has filed a written complaint of sexual harassment against the Wrestling Federation of India Chief Brij Bhushan to the Indian Olympic Association. The government has clarified to these wrestlers that they have no right to sack Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, but if the players agree, Brij Bhushan can disassociate himself from the Wrestling Association till the investigation report arrives. According to sources, the Wrestlers Federation of India will lodge an FIR against those athletes in the Dharna who are set to participate in the Senior Open National Ranking Championship from today, from January 20th to 23rd in Gonda. The WFI claims that these players skipped the event deliberately and it was never called off to begin with. Brij Bhushan remains defiant. Speaking to India Today, he said he will not step down and that the allegations against him are false. Address a press conference this evening. Boxer and Congressman Vijender Singh has attended the wrestlers' protest at Jantar Mantar today, but was asked also, interestingly, to vacate the area and sit with the rest of the crowd since wrestlers did not want any political colour to the happenings. Vijender said he's there to show support to the sporting fraternity. He is a Congress leader. So what's going to be happening in the meeting between Anurag Thakur and these protesting wrestlers? Vinesh Fogart spoke just about an hour ago at Jantar Mantar, and here's what she said.
हम यहाँ आए थे कि अपने आत्मसम्मान की लड़ाई के लिए। अगर आत्मसम्मान ही हमारा सबके सामने तो बिखर गया तो फिर क्या ही लड़ाई रहेगी? आत्मसम्मान तो हमारा मतलब कोई भी कदम नहीं, हम सड़क पे आए हैं। आत्मसम्मान की लड़ाई थी। अगर और लड़कियों की बात है, मैं बार-बार वही बोल रही हूँ कि लड़कियों की बात है, लड़कियों का मुद्दा है, इतना सेंसिटिव है। कोई भी माँ बाप, हमारे परिवार से भी लोग आए हुए हैं, सब समझा रहे हैं कि बेटा ये बहुत बड़ी बात है, बहुत हिम्मत।
ब्रज भूषण का कहना है विनेश,
देखिए मैं वो अपनी बातें रख रहे हैं, मुझे तो अफसोस हो रहा है कि इतना सब होने के बाद वो चुप ही नहीं हो रहे हैं। वो मुंह खोलने के सुनामी हो जाएगी, हम मुंह खोल रहे हैं तो कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा है। वो कौन सा मुंह खोलना चाहते हैं? मैं तो चाहती हूँ कि सुनामी में क्या कुछ तूफान आ जाए। ये हिंदुस्तान के शेर हैं, हिंदुस्तान के पहलवान है, ये लेंगे नहीं।
All right, let's take this across to Nitin Srivastava. He's joining us live from outside Anurag Thakur's residence. Nitin, I was asking you earlier, what's happened to Brij Bhushan's press conference? Has there been delayed indefinitely? Is he waiting to see what is the outcome of this meeting? Nitin, can you hear me?
Can you please come again?
I'm having a bit of a problem there with Nitin, but Nitin, if you can hear me, take us through when really we're expecting Brij Bhushan to address a press conference. And let me just highlight for our viewers that these are live images that are coming in right now on the right of your screens. Doesn't look like I have Nitin with me. We're going to fix that line and have him join us on what's expected next as far as the WFI is concerned. These images are from Gonda in Uttar Pradesh, and that's where currently Brij Bhushan is. He was supposed to address a press conference at 5 p.m. That doesn't seem to be happening, but this particular image is from a live event. You can see behind there the boards talking about this being a wrestling tournament. Remember that even the WFI had accused these protesting wrestlers of not turning up for this event, saying that the event wasn't called off to begin with. So as we track all the live updates that are coming in right now, we're just standing by to see when the wrestlers actually enter and reach Union Minister Anurag Thakur's residence. In the meanwhile, let me round up for you all that's happened. There's been a lot of politics, a lot of reactions, a lot of support that's poured in importantly for these protesting wrestlers. They've even now filed a complaint with the Indian Olympic Association chief PT Usha, who yesterday assured that she will provide all necessary support to these protesting wrestlers.
India's Olympic heroes are out in the cold. While wrestlers led by Vinesh Phogat and Bajrang Punia are in talks with Union Sports Minister Anurag Thakur, the man under scanner, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, is bracing it out. The Wrestling Federation of India chief and BJP MP from Kaisarganj has refused to step down, in effect foiling the Narendra Modi government's efforts for a truce. Singh has also rejected grave charges of sexual harassment leveled by the star wrestlers against him and other officials.
President sir, उसी होटल में रहे जहाँ पे टीम थी, उसी जहाँ पे लड़कियों के रूम थे, महिला खिलाड़ियों के रूम थे, उन्हीं के रूम के सामने उन्होंने रूम लिया. मेरे को खुद जूनियर खिलाड़ियों ने बताया है कि वो रूम हमेशा अपना ओपन रखते थे, जबकि उनके सामने महिला खिलाड़ियां रहती थी.
रुकने की व्यवस्था हम नहीं करते हैं. रुकने की व्यवस्था आयोजक करता है और एक एक देश की टीम को एक एक जगह रुकाता है. ये हमारी व्यवस्था नहीं है. और जिस खिलाड़ी ने आरोप लगाया है कि दरवाजा खुला रहता था, वो खिलाड़ी उस टूर्नामेंट में नहीं थी.
The wrestlers claim they will present evidence at an appropriate time. Olympic medalist Bajrang Punia, who is on dharna at Jantar Mantar, has claimed a threat to his life and sought PM Modi's help.
खिलाड़ियों को मारने तक की धमकी दे रहे हैं, तो इससे बुरा समय और क्या होगा. हम प्रधानमंत्री जी से, गृह मंत्री जी से और खेल मंत्री जी से यही निवेदन करेंगे आपके माध्यम से कि जल्दी से जल्दी हमारी जो मांगे हैं उनको सुना जाए.
Meanwhile, the wrestlers have turned up the heat on the Wrestlers Federation of India further. They have filed a complaint with Indian Olympic Association. In the letter to IOA chief PT Usha, the athletes claim that several wrestlers have faced sexual harassment. They also alleged that Vinesh Phogat was tortured and harassed by the Wrestling Federation India chief, after which she contemplated suicide. The protesting wrestlers also demanded the Wrestling Federation be disbanded and a new panel be formed in consultation with them. An IOA committee will probe the charges. Why have those who have been accused of sexual harassment, including senior coaches, not been suspended till a detailed inquiry? Why have these serious allegations been ignored, and why did it take some of our biggest wrestling heroes to come out onto the streets for their voices to be heard? India Today will continue asking these questions of the Wrestling Federation of India. With Amit Bharadwaj and Milan Sharma in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Events that are going to kick off. One, that the protesting wrestlers are meeting with Union Sports Minister Anurag Thakur, and second, Brij Bhushan, the man in question right now. The Wrestling Federation of India chief is going to be holding a press conference anytime now. Amit Bharadwaj is joining us live right now. Milan Sharma is joining us live from Jantar Mantar. Amit, to you first. It looks like the protesting wrestlers have they made their way inside, and has the meeting begun?
Well, Akshita, we are expecting the protesting wrestlers to reach Anurag Thakur's residence. They have already left from Jantar Mantar. They are expected to reach here anytime. The entire the security paraphernalia has been strengthened as well. You have Delhi police officials managing the traffic to make sure that their vehicles are not doesn't get blocked while entering the house. But they are yet to reach here. But what we are picking up is the top government officials from the Sports Ministry are already here. The meeting of the IOA is still going on. That's a virtual meeting which is being conducted, especially after the official complaint of sexual harassment was filed by the protesting wrestlers, including Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik and Vinesh Fogart. Now, we are, two things are quite interesting as to how these two developments take shape. Number one, what is the IOA's opinion on the entire controversy? What kind of recommendation they are going to make to the WFI, and whether it's an order or recommendation that will be made out? And second, the options available will be also shared with the protesting wrestlers who are about to reach Anurag Thakur's residence, and they will be very clearly told that these are the 3 or 4 options available to you. Which one do you want to pick? How this is going to get exercised and implemented, all those things will be explained to these wrestlers. But right now, all eyes are actually waiting out here for the protesting wrestlers to reach here so that the meeting can begin. Yesterday, we know for a matter of fact that the meeting which began at 10 in the night had continued till 2:30 in the night. So that was a more than 4-hour-long meeting which went inside, which continued inside Anurag Thakur's residence, and several of the issues related to sexual harassment charges, the way WFI acts, behave, the way resources of the WFI and the funds which are provided to them via several corporate houses are managed, and how wrestlers are not getting enough share of those funds. All these issues were actually raised during that meeting. But quite interesting, Akshita, that since morning we are also waiting for Brij Bhushan Singh to come in front of the media and to put his version, to respond to the specific allegations which are being put out. And now there's an official complaint which has been filed against him in front of the IOA. Okay. But Mr. Brij Bhushan is yet to hold that press conference. First it was scheduled for 12, then it was later rescheduled for 4. Until now, we do not know.
No, it looks like it's going to start at any time now. Let's see if he's also waiting to find out the outcome of this particular meeting. But as of now, there are no indications that he's going to resign, because every conversation we've had with him today as well, he's been extremely defiant, saying there's no question of me having to put down my papers. Milan Sharma is also reporting live from outside Anurag Thakur's residence. I'll come across to you, Milan, in just a bit. Let me first run our viewers through the demands that have been put forth by these wrestlers. One is to sack Brij Bhushan as the Wrestling Federation of India president. And this demand is where really the stalemate lies, because the government says we can't do it. It's an independent federation. Brij Bhushan himself refuses to step down. Second demand is that they're saying he must be arrested for misconduct, for sexual mental harassment. The third demand is to disband the present federation body. They want fresh members, fresh blood to be injected into this association. Their demand number 4 is to reform state bodies, ensure there is more inclusivity as well. And these are the 4 demands essentially that they've put forth. Reasonable enough demands, but the reason that there hasn't been movement really, Milan, is because the government has said that, look, This is an independent body. There's only so much we can do. We can ensure that there's a very fair investigation that's conducted. We can ensure that a committee is set up to look into all issues that they've addressed. But we can't force Brij Bhushan to step down because he doesn't come under us.
Absolutely, and the mandate to ask Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh to step down is not also with the Sports Minister Anurag Thakur. Having said that, the meeting is being held by him, it's being helmed by him, and as well as the Association of the Olympics has also been involved in this, and that remains a point of contention. Even when sexual harassment charges were leveled by the wrestlers, now a formal complaint has come forward. The formal complaint does talk about financial irregularities as well. But when we asked Vinesh Fogart whether she is willing to take the legal route, whether the wrestlers are willing to take the legal route to know or to file an FIR against Brij Bhushan Sharan, they did not give a concrete reply. They did say that they are waiting for things to pan out in a meeting and to perhaps know what is going to happen today. Because she did say that she also has some sort of recording as an evidence which she hasn't shared with others or anyone else at the moment, and they don't want to name these sportswomen or these wrestlers who were sexually harassed by Brij Bhushan Sharan, again saying that they and their careers will be finished if their names are taken. Of course, there is a lot of controversy surrounded around this fact that why their names are not being given to the committee that can rule and look into the charges of sexual harassment by Brij Bhushan Sharan, and this entire parlance will now take place once again inside Anurag Thakur's residence, and we know from the fact that Brij Bhushan Sharan is absolutely defiant about all these charges, as you said, because he's not been just placed there, he's been elected, and it does not come under the mandate of all these bodies to ask him to step down.
Let's see. We're all hoping that there's some positive outcome from this particular meeting that ensures that our wrestlers aren't forced to be sitting there on the streets of Delhi and continuing this protest over the weekend as well. Milind, Nitin, stay on with me. I'm slipping into a very short break. We're going to continue getting you all the updates that are pouring in. The protesting wrestlers expected any moment at Anurag Thakur's residence.
The men and women who built Indian industry, and the young guns who are shaping tomorrow's India. From storied careers to unicorn dreams.
The equity market is a dynamic space that needs sharper insights and perfect timing. What stock, what fund, what to pick and what to sell.
How do you make money on the markets? And what are the superior strategies for a winning portfolio?
Your questions answered by 30 years of undisputed leadership.
Only at the Market Today Summit.
Indians wrestle against Federation boss.
जो स्टेट की जो फेडरेशन है वो सब इन जैसे लोग ही बैठे हैं.
Stir at capital's Jantar Mantar in biting Delhi cold.
कोई नहीं खेलेगा जितने आ रहे हैं कोई नेशनल नहीं खेलेगा.
Continuing their dangal for justice. India's star wrestlers who have brought glory at Olympics and multiple global platforms waged war against their own federation chief, Brij Bhushan Singh, for the second straight day, accusing him and some of the top coaches of subjecting them to harassment, mental torture, discrimination, and even life threats. The Fed chief, however, brazened it out and said only those wrestlers past their prime are leveling false charges.
किसी खिलाड़ियों का अब ओलंपिक में मेडल आने वाला नहीं है. ये मतलब एक खेल की एक उम्र होती है, इनकी गलती नहीं, एक खेल की एक उम्र होती है. हमारी कुश्ती में 32 साल 34 साल नहीं चलता है. हमारा कुश्ती में क्रीम है 22 साल से लेकर के 28 साल तक या बहुत खींच खाच करके 30 साल तक. तो ये इनका गुस्सा है, वो गुस्सा आज फूटा है इनका.
The wrestlers and their coaches, however, accused the wrestling body boss of targeting women athletes. Amid their battle for honor, the wrestlers steadfastly remained apolitical and focused on their goal, booing politicians like Brinda Karad, who tried to take the stage.
जी मैडम प्लीज आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है, मैडम प्लीज इसको राजनीति मुद्दा ना बनाइए प्लीज। आप नीचे चले जाइए प्लीज, प्लीज मैडम नीचे चले जाइए प्लीज, आपसे हाथ जोड़ के रिक्वेस्ट है, आप सामने आ जाइए मैडम प्लीज, आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है।
As the massive furor continues, the government, which earlier ordered a probe against Fed Chief Brij Bhushan, sent its emissary, Babita Phogat, herself a wrestler and a BJP leader.
ये कोई छोटी चीज नहीं है, मैं भी इस चीज को मानती हूँ कि इन लोगों ने इतने बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म के आकर और इतने बड़े इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऐसे ही नहीं लगाए जाते, और धुआं वहीं से उठता है जहाँ पे आग लगी होती है। तो मैं इस चीज को भी मानती हूँ और इसकी निष्पक्ष जांच होगी, बिल्कुल ये भी मैं भरोसा दिलाती हूँ।
The wrestlers, mainly from Haryana, also got backing from Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar.
विषय ध्यान में आया है और जिस प्रकार से वो सारी डेवलपमेंट हुई है, जो हमारा खेल मंत्रालय है, केंद्र सरकार, उन्होंने उस पर नोटिस लिया है। 72 घंटे के अंदर अंदर जो ये हमारा खेल संघ है, भारतीय कुश्ती संघ, इनको एक प्रकार से जवाब देने के लिए कहा है, उसका जवाब देंगे। सारी बातें बहुत गंभीरता से ली गई हैं और इन सब विषयों को जैसे भी वो रिपोर्ट करते हैं, और जरूर मैं समझता हूँ इसका संज्ञान जो है वो भारत सरकार खेल विभाग जरूर लेगा।
Facing all-round heat and shocking charges, the Federation chief, who initially remained defiant, may be on his way out and is likely to quit in the crucial General Council meeting on Sunday. The resignation of Singh will be a major win for the grapplers. With Pooja Shali in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Welcome back. We're tracking all the latest updates that are coming in right now as the protesting wrestlers are all set to meet with Sports Minister Anurag Thakur. We're also standing by for a press conference by the WFI chief, Brij Bhushan. He so far refused to resign. Early this morning also, when asked particularly about all of the allegations against him, the sexual harassment allegations, he said that he would clear the air in his press conference. Now it looks like he is also waiting for some clarity on what happens in the meeting between the wrestlers and the sports minister. Milind Sharma is joining us live with more details on this. So Milind, all eyes on that particular meeting. As far as Brij Bhushan is concerned, he was supposed to hold a press conference at 5 p.m. There's no word about what's been happening on that, but it looks like maybe he's also kind of waiting and watching to see what is the outcome of this huddle.
Well, it does seem that the overconfidence at this point, the statements that we heard from Brij Bhushan Singh have now fallen flat, and he's gone cold turkey, because we were hearing that he was supposed to do a press conference. There were reporters who confronted him in Gonda, where he said that he will announce what he has to announce at 12 noon and then at 5, and that didn't happen. Of course, the wrestlers, on the other hand, were also waiting for a response on what he's going to say. As in his words, he said that if I open my mouth, a tsunami is going to hit us all. But of course, the reply from the wrestlers' side was whether it's a tsunami or whether it's anything else, they are not afraid, they are not defiant, because they say that this is not a political protest. This is a protest of the wrestlers. This is a protest for their dignity. And of course, the sexual harassment charges that have been levied on Brij Bhushan are very serious in nature. In fact, Vinesh Fogart also went forward to say that there are some evidential proofs that they have. Perhaps they would submit it to the IOA and its president PT Usha, who could perhaps look into the entire matter. But once the Association of Olympics is going to look into the entire matter, we also have the Sports Authority of India chairing this particular meet that's going to take place at Anurag Thakur, Sports Minister's residence, along with the Sports Secretary, who's also in attendance. What is going to be the strategy from here on for the government is going to be very interesting to see, because Brij Bhushan Sharan absolutely defiant, and he said that he will not step down without a fight. On the other hand, the wrestlers have also said that if no action is taken, they continue to protest at Jantar Mantar yet again another day. And this time, Vinesh Fogart has actually said they'll get their mats, they'll get their equipment, they will start practicing as well, but they will still be in protest. So there, completely clear messaging from the wrestlers' side that these girls who have faced sexual harassment and the entire overhaul that the Wrestling Federation of India needs to be done now, and which is why this meeting that's expected to happen at Anurag Thakur's residence will take place today as well. We're hoping that there's a solution today, and just like yesterday, it doesn't go on till wee hours of the morning, but definitely the wrestlers have not yet arrived at the residence, and we'll be waiting for that there.
All right, Milind, just stay with me. A quick answer also from Amit Bharadwaj of the current situation. Amit, just about 1 hour ago, we had also a press conference by Vinesh Fogart. What's the communication really from the wrestlers? Are they willing to kind of ensure that there's a fair investigation at least, even if Brij Bhushan doesn't immediately resign?
Well, Akshita, you know, the very fact that the complaint which has been lodged with the IOA, the 4 demands which have been made in that particular complaint, it includes sacking of WFI President Brij Bhushan, along with that a formation of a committee to look into the allegations of sexual harassment against the WFI President and the other officials of the WFI as well. So this means that they are ready to let a committee look into the entire matter so that a thorough investigation can be carried out, and after that decisions can be taken accordingly. But first and foremost demand even now remains that Mr. Brij Bhushan has to, leave the office of WFI President. So that is one demand that it appears that these protesting wrestlers would not want to back down upon. They will want Mr. Brij Bhushan to be out of the WFI. There's a possibility that the second demand which they have been pushing since yesterday, that the entire federation, be it the WFI, the Wrestling Federation of India, the State Federation, need to be dissolved immediately, and it needs to be
how many of these demands are actually met? How much of it actually translates to action on the ground? We're going to be tracking all that. Essentially, we'll get answers after this meeting with Anurag Thakur. That's when we'll know once and for all whether this protest is going to continue over the weekend or not. Amit and Milind, thank you very much for joining us for the moment. I'm slipping into a short break. We'll be right back with lots more news breaks. Stay with us.
Argument is that if there is evidence against him, there should be an FIR filed, and this should be a matter settled in the police, and that's where the athlete should go next.
Firstly, I just fail to understand that this man has been sitting on the post of Wrestling Federation of India president for the past 13 years. Why can't he be made to resign so that the athletes, without any fear of any kind of intimidation, can actually go ahead and file their case? So first and foremost, he needs to resign.
But should they have filed the case earlier?
Why can't the other way around? Why should it not happen like that? And at the same time, Delhi police has heard all these athletes go on record stating that they have been sexually harassed by him, by other coaches, and they have witnessed several other women being harassed by these people, and they have evidence. So has the Delhi police approached these athletes? Has their statements been recorded? Has any kind of help been provided to these athletes? I think it's a matter of great shame for the nation that these are Olympian medalists. They have really brought laurels to the country, and they have been made to sit in Jantar Mantar in this cold, and they're actually crying and seeking help, and nobody wants to come out and help them. Whenever these people win medals for the country, then all the netas line up and they all want photographs with these athletes. And even this Mr. Brij Bhushan Sharan, I heard him say that he's also trying to claim credit for all the good work that these people have been doing, and saying that, meri wajah se in logon ko.
So what do you intend to do? So what does the Delhi Commission of Women, all of this is taking place in the heart of the national capital. Will you encourage these women now to file FIRs? Will you all suo moto take this matter up? What do you intend to do?
So we've already suo moto taken the matter up. I have met all these athletes yesterday. I have had a long discussion with them, and we have issued notices to the Sports Ministry as well as to the Delhi Police. I have asked for a copy of the FIR. I have asked for arrests in the matter, and I have also asked the Sports Ministry as to what is the internal complaints committee. What are the systems in place? There is no inquiry. All these athletes who are extremely strong and accomplished women, they have been forced to sit on a strike, and they are raising some very serious allegations. I fail to understand, why can't they be investigated? What are the systems in the ministry, and what steps have been taken in order to ensure that all these young athletes do not fall prey to predators? It's really unfortunate, and I just fail to understand what is the call for fame for this man who continues to be the Wrestling Federation of India, as if he's bigger than all these athletes put together. Why can't he be made to resign? He should first resign, and then a proper investigation should happen, and whatever is the court of law, whatever that says, ultimately we will accept. But first and foremost, this man has to resign. 13 years in any case is a very long time to remain in this, and I really don't see any call to fame except for him being a politician.
Mrunal Thakur has signed her next film starring Nani, which is tentatively titled Nani 30. As per the glimpse released by the makers, the film looks like an emotional family drama. The image of Nani with a young girl showed that the movie could revolve around a father-daughter relationship. Directed by debutant filmmaker Shauryav, the film will mark Mrunal's second Telugu film after she delivered a remarkable performance in Sita Ramam, which co-starred Dulquer Salmaan and Rashmika Mandanna. The romantic drama was based on a love story between Sita, played by Mrunal, and Lieutenant Ram, essayed by Dulquer. It was directed by Hanu Ragapudi. Meanwhile, the actress has several Hindi films lined up in 2023. One is with Aditya Roy Kapoor, titled Gumrah, which is the official remake of the hit Tamil film Thadam. She will also be seen essaying the role of the on-screen sister of Ishan Khattar in Raju Krishna Menon directorial Pipa. The film is based on the life of Brigadier Balram Singh Mehta.
Let's get you the first statement coming in from the BBC over all the controversy over the documentary on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This particular two-part series that's come out, there have been a lot of questions about it being biased, and the BBC has now defended their series, claiming it's rigorously researched and that it sought to highlight important issues. To read out some parts of the statement, it says the documentary was rigorously researched according to the highest editorial standards. In fact, they've also said that a wide range of voices, witnesses and experts were approached, and we featured a range of opinions. This includes responses from people in the BJP. We offered the Indian government a right to reply to the matters raised in the series. It declined to respond. Just like to add a caveat here that this is what the BBC claims. We'll wait for what the government has to say about this, because if you look at the documentary itself, there are a lot of questions being asked about whether this has been given a slant, a tilt towards their side or the propaganda that they want to feature. That's what the government also has questioned right now. There have also been questions about the timing of the documentary. On that, the BBC hasn't given any sort of clarity or answered as to why they've released this documentary 20 years after the 2002 riots. And that's all we have time for in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. Thanks very much for tuning in. Have a great weekend ahead. I'll see you on Monday.
In your individual capacity as a renowned academic, how you see the India story at this moment?
Well, I think certainly growth